Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his defense minister to impose a 36-hour ceasefire on the Ukrainian front line. The ceasefire from 1200 hours Moscow time coincides with the Russian Orthodox Christmas. Mr. Putin asked Ukraine to reciprocate, but Kyiv quickly rejected the request. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said the truce was an attempt to stop his country's military advances in the east of the country. The Kremlin statement appeared to stress that President Putin ordered his troops to stop fighting not because he was de-escalating. Patriarch Kirill had earlier called for a Christmas truce to allow believers attend Christmas services for the Orthodox Christmas. But in his nightly video address, President Zelensky said that Russia wanted to use the truce as a cover to stop Ukrainian advances in the eastern Donbass region and bring in more men and equipment. Over in Kyiv, we understand people went to work, ran errands on the Orthodox Christmas Eve today, 11 a.m. local time, as the Kremlin had ordered the truce to begin without specifying what time zone they were referring to. However, Russian shells hit Kramatorsk, a Ukrainian city near the front line in the industrial Donetsk region that Russia claims as its territory. That's according to the city's mayor. Russia invaded Ukraine February 24, 2022, starting a war that has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced millions, and reduced cities to rubble. Russia claims the whole industrial Donetsk region as its territory. Some local residents expressed fear after hearing the explosions, while others remain defiant in the face of the attacks. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has visited a military base where Russian troops are stationed. During the meeting today, Mr. Lukashenko and an unnamed representative from the Russian army discussed the two countries' joint military drills. Belarus, which is closely allied with Moscow, said on Thursday that it will receive more weapons and equipment from Russia as the two boost their military cooperation, fueling fears it could be used as a staging post to attack Ukraine from the north. And now to talk some more about what is happening right now in Ukraine, Anna Chernikova from the VOA joins me now for more. Hi, Anna. It's good to see you. Tell us about where you are. I know that is in Kyiv, and, you know, about the truce, if that is in effect in Kyiv, where you are.
Good evening. I'm standing in the very central part of the city, next to one of the main cathedrals, Ukrainian cathedrals, as a lot of Ukrainians celebrate Christmas today. Some celebrate 2 days, on the 25th and on the 7th of January as well. So today was not a very calm day. In the afternoon, it was a massive air raid siren across the country, including the city of Kyiv. Nothing happened. It was just reported that aircraft on the territory of Russia and on the territory of Belarus were in the air, and this was the reason of the air raid siren. But still, today, Ukrainians experience across the country experience shelling, and unfortunately, Donetsk region and Kherson region and the city of Kherson itself were under the attack. So,
to try to get things straight, did any of the strikes happen in Ukraine? Because we heard the story about what happened in Kramatorsk, and then we also know that Ukrainian president rejected the ceasefire by Russian president.
Well, Ukrainian authorities, including President Zelensky himself, did not, announced immediately that they do not believe at any ceasefire proposed by President Putin, because if President Putin wants a real ceasefire and real end of the war, Russian troops would be out from Ukrainian territory, and this is the best way to have a long-term ceasefire. This ceasefire that was proposed by President Putin, Ukrainian side and Ukrainian officials considered as just another try by Russian forces to actually save some time in order to regroup and to prepare for another assault, another attack. because what we're hearing from the Donetsk region, and particularly from the battles next to the city of Bakhmut, where the most heavy battles are happening, is basically that Russian forces lost their potential for active advance. And this is not only what we are hearing from Ukrainian officials and Ukrainian military, but also from the Institute for the Study of War and from the British intelligence. So, and definitely Ukrainian authorities consider this try by President Putin and Russia to announce a ceasefire as another try to actually save time for themselves. So this is why so this proposal, of course, was not supported by Ukraine, because, as I already said, Ukrainians, understand that if real ceasefire, for real ceasefire and for real end of the battle, end of the fight, Russian forces should leave Ukrainian territory. So this was the reason why this was not considered as a real proposal. And also Ukrainian officials highlighted that basically this is a provocation and another manipulation by Russian side.
In terms of what we're seeing people, moving around you, people still out and about. What's the mood like, as some of them perhaps celebrate the Orthodox Christmas, and also in reaction to the so-called ceasefire by the Russian president?
There are quite a lot of people out actually on the streets, and a lot of people celebrate with their families at home, but also a lot of people, and I should say that really a big amount of Ukrainians this year celebrated Christmas on the 25th of December. So I should say that today it's quite it's quite a normal day in this new realities for Ukrainians for almost a year now, people just of course, people cannot be completely relaxed and completely calm, because still, as I already said, air siren was on today, and it's always a risk. But for the moment, the city is just living its usual life, and yes, a lot of people are getting ready for tomorrow's day off, and Christmas Day for those who celebrate tomorrow. And it would be also a very historic event for Ukraine, as Ukrainian church would have a Christmas service in the facilities of Kiev Pechersk-Lavra, which it's one of the main cathedral complex of Ukraine, and previously it was basically occupied and ruled by Russian church in Ukraine, and tomorrow would be the first service by Ukrainian church. So a lot of Ukrainians are also getting ready for this event. But in general, I should say that, the city is just living its normal life.
And Anna, I know there have been perhaps many bombardments to some infrastructure in Ukraine. Talk to us about the new appeal to civilians to save electricity regarding the power grid.
So the thing is that today Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mr. Shmyhal, announced that Ukrainians should get ready to save more energy, more electricity, and should get ready for possible additional outages, because today is the first day when actually it's becoming really cold, because previous weeks of winter, so in general previous months, so the month of December was quite warm in Ukraine, and now the weather is getting colder. So Prime Minister specified that people should be ready, because of course people start to use more electricity, more power, in order to warm up, and in order to to get the heating on. So and situation in the energy system remains difficult. So it is controlled now, and outages are less for the moment. Again, it was also possible due to the warm weather, but now situation could change. And also Prime Minister highlighted that Russian forces are getting ready for another massive attack across Ukraine. So Ukrainians should be ready that if this attack would cause more damage to the energy system, then situation might get worse again. And this is probably the two main factors: new possible attacks and a colder weather which is approaching.
Anna, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and do continue to stay safe.
Thank you.